Here we are in our state-of-the-art real-time plan design dashboard. You can tell right from here that this isn't your normal Excel spreadsheet renewal process. Here our plan designs come to life where we're able to have real-time feedback on how our plan design decisions impact not only our organization, but employees as well. So this is where we actually build out our plan designs. These blue bars are plan groups or folders where we're going to add plan designs. Now you'll notice that the cost displayed for each one of these options is portrayed in terms of employer cost. That's an important piece. While we can always look at total cost, we know that it's more important to get that cost broken down to the components that are important to you, and we're going to be able to do that in our dashboard. Let's open up their current $1,000 deductible PPO and get used to what a plan design looks like in our dashboard. All right, here is a coverage diagram, and as we go forward and look at more complex plan designs incorporating in funding vehicles like HRAs, those visuals are going to let us see how all those moving parts work together. Now here we can get some information on the plan. We have a $1,000 deductible 80/20 to 3,000 plan. We've got some copays, we have an RX card. Over on the right we have our financial information, so we have our premiums. But an important part of working with this solution is this piece of premium share right here. So premium share becomes a part of all of the plan designs we're going to create. And what that allows us to do is to get past that total cost number and break that down into how that cost actually impacts your organization and your employees as well. So as we go forward and look at different options, you'll always be able to see how the employer cost is impacted. But if you look at these two green shaded columns right here, that's going to keep us informed on how employees are impacted by our plan design decisions. The first column is going to represent one way they're financially impacted. That's what they potentially have in out-of-pocket costs and claims. And right next to it, we're going to be able to see the other way they're impacted, which is how much they pay for that coverage. So in our current $1,000 80/20 to 3,000 plan, singles are paying $201.62, families are paying $622.47. If we close current, we're going to look at renewal. Here's where we can drill in, and again, not just see the financial impact of this increase to the employer, but if they keep that contribution strategy the same, how their employees would be impacted as well. What having that premium share in plan designs allows us to really do is to look at where your employer cost needs to be as a separate component from your renewal. So if we decide we want to look at a budget at 5% over current, notice that budget updates in real time. And now when we drill in and look at the renewal, we can see how that contribution strategy would need to be changed and how that would impact what employees pay for that coverage. So by being able to make those real-time changes to budget assumptions and be able to, in an instant, see how that would impact employees, it allows us to really look at plan designs with you from a completely different perspective. All right, here's an option where we're now introducing a more complex plan design. We still meet our budget target, but now we have a $4,000 deductible HSA. Notice in the coverage diagram now, we have employer funding or seeding of the HSA. We also have a post-deductible HRA, so we're getting into more complex plan designs. And if we look at the employee impact, we can see that the net out-of-pocket, what they have to pay in claims is actually $2,500 for singles when we take into account the employer funding. And adjusted to our budget, employees would only pay $202.56 for that. If we want to make adjustments on the fly, we're able to do that. The one change on that HRA is updating budgeted liabilities, max liabilities, plan group cost, employee impact. All right, so we now are making it $3,500. Maybe we want to budget or accommodate a little more conservatively in our HRA. We come back, we can see the change to the employer cost. And again, we're one click away of being able to get back to our budget assumption and see how those changes impact both the employees' out-of-pocket exposure as well as what they pay for coverage. We can even work with self-funded plans as well. So in this option, we're able to analyze and look at those self-funded contracts and compare fixed, expected, and maximum cost and still be able to drill in at an employee level and work with contribution strategies and funding as well. So after this information has all been entered in, we're going to be able to report that back. So here we're able to see their renewal adjusted to meet their budget against the proposed option, which is the same cost to the employer, but if we look at the impact of the employee, we can see this option has actually a lower out-of-pocket exposure than their current plan. And if you take a look at the resulting employee cost compared to what their renewal plan was. We can even drill in and start to look at plan designs and options from a completely visual perspective. So again, you can see this isn't your normal Excel spreadsheets. We can even compare and contrast plan designs on a visual level to really be able to understand the impact of our plan design choices. So now, even without being able to see a number, we can see this proposed option is going to be much lower in cost for the employee and have the same net out-of-pocket exposure. So hopefully in this few minutes, you're starting to see how having this real-time dashboard allows you to make faster and better decisions by being able to put all the information you need at your fingertips.